So hello. Uh, so let's get started. So what basically we're going to do is to create a React app. We're going to create a React. We're going to create a dashboard admin app. Yeah, we're going to create an admin dashboard app. What we mean admin dashboard? Dashboard widget. We're going to create a dashboard widget here, exactly here. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So how can you create such a dashboard widget? Using React with WordPress. So this looks funny, as many developers wondering, how can you use React in WordPress? Yes, it is. You can actually use it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Yes. So this. So if you have React skills or Angular skills or Vue skills, you can use that the JavaScript libraries, JavaScript framework to create the front end, and then the back end will be using WordPress. Yeah, actually this is very great from WordPress team. So yeah, so let me go ahead and do that. So of course these are the resources we're going to use. One is this is the resource as this plugin thing that I'm going to use, the plugin structure. So of course I built a couple of plugins, so I'll have to use one of the structure to move a little bit faster and to make also this video a little bit shorter. And then of course our dashboard widget will be having a React front end, and then it will feed on a REST API from WordPress backend. So this is the resource we shall use for custom REST API. So create one custom REST API, and then also yes, also this will enable us to set up the React front end. It's kind of hard a little bit using Webpack. It can get tricky. However, with WordPress scripts, it simplifies your life. So let's go ahead and do this. So yes, so let me go ahead and do this. So I'm going to use my plugin template. So you find it. I'll even post. So this is just so every plugin that you're going to build, it's very important that you specify this name. You specify the all those details there. It's very, yeah, actually this should be like for a little bit of advance, so we need all that for the dashboard widget, and then yes, so this is the class. So I prefer class-based WordPress development rather than using functions, because it makes your work very organized and all that. So in this case, I'm going to say these are option things. So I'm not going to explain this. I'm going to go direct to the business because this is not important. This is not. So yes, this instance, so I'm not going to, all this, the enable to people to stop misusing your plugin and all that. So this will be CO dash. So this is just a kind of boilerplate that I usually use for my plugin development. So I'll share it in case you're interested in it. Yeah. So if someone tries to pull access directly your plugin using maybe a .php file, the plugin and it's not an admin, then it will block him. So here we define the constants, the version, yes, so as you can see, I'm just changing values, which is good. Yes, so as time goes on, we're going to keep on changing. So actually now, including the file, you can require first of all, in case you're using Composer, in case you want to add like other external packages of PHP, so use Composer here. So this vendor things for, but right now I don't need to use Composer. Right now I'm just going to do a normal simple React app and utilizing WordPress functions. So I don't need to download any external files. However, if you're making maybe REST API to Jira to what, then you can go ahead and. So this is just so okay. So let's get started. Of course, there's one of this class here. So it's a class table. So we go ahead, now my thing is well organized, so we go ahead and access the class hook registry. So this registry just helps us to record all our hooks and filters. So I think you know a hook, just WordPress hook, you know what it means. So that enables you to change code without you actually touching the core WordPress function. So we're going to modify them. So in case there's some errors, we're going to keep on modifying as time goes on, modifying to ensure that everything works as expected. So here, as you can see, the actions, then the hooks, there's add filter, but I'm not going to use any filter in this project, so I don't need one. So of course, what's important here is enqueuing the scripts. That's what it will be very important to do that. Yes, enqueuing the script that we shall build, which will be a React app. So enqueuing simply means I'm just adding JavaScript files, CSS files, maybe other files. So that's what I mean by WP enqueue script. This one I don't need it actually. So let me remove this. So in case you're dealing with settings, you can always use the update option file in case you are dealing with settings. So in this case, what I'm going to say that after my plugin is activated, I want you to create a graph table. So graph table, of course, is going to hold our static data that we need. It's going to hold our static data that we actually need. So it's going to hold our static data that we actually need. So I think we're good to go. So let me see. So of course, it's better like keep on testing every bit of it rather than just so after the plugin is activated, this one is the register activation hook, which runs this function. Runs this function of after a plugin is activated, after you have activated the plugin, and then this is when you deactivate a plugin, the function that's run, the callback that's run. So okay, so let's get started. So first thing first, let's see. So I'm going to stop some of the things here to happen. So let me get rid of all this yeah, I don't need these filters, all of them. I'm going to remove them actually. I don't need them here. Yeah, even this one here, after the plugin has been deactivated, I don't need it. So for now, let me keep this code, the one that's in charge of adding admin dashboard. So I don't want to do that for now. So let's go ahead and try to run the plugin. So I'm going to deactivate the plugin. So as you can see, my plugin is called CO-widget. Yes, so this will change. Plugin to show the chat graph as a chatbot widget. So here you can see CO-widget. So if I change, I can change to another name. I can say hello. This is what will happen. So this is the name. So actually, any plugin, as long as you have this file, even if it's an index.php file, and just have only this label here without even anything down here, it will still, your plugin will still be shown on the plugin directory. So however, that we're not going to teach that. So let's get started. So you can see here is hello widget, CO dashboard, hello widget. So I'm going to go ahead and activate it. So all these details you can just copy. So I'm going to go ahead. So it has been activated. So that's great. It has been activated. Yeah, it has been activated. So you can check and see if you check my dashboard, are you seeing anything like a widget here? No. So we're interested in how do we make a dashboard widget here. So I'm going to go ahead. If you want to make a dashboard widget, use the WP add dashboard. So you should always use the documentation, the official documentation of WordPress. Like shows these hooks, they're all there. So WP add dashboard widget, this is what I'm going to use. So specify the widget ID, the callback, everything. So that's what I usually do. Actually, this documentation is always open and I always utilize it. So this is what I'm going to do. WP add dashboard widget. So I'm just showing a sample for now. So WP dashboard widget is a hook. So this is a function first of all. So WP dashboard widget, then you put there the widget ID, then you put there the name, maybe Reactjs dashboard widget, maybe you can say hello dashboard widget, so you see what will happen. So let's, so this is the widget ID, the name, the title of the label. What label do you want to see the label here? What kind of label do you want to happen to see here? What kind of label? This site health status, quick draft, WordPress event. So the title, and then you go ahead, and then of course you'll have to run a method, the callback, what we call a callback. So of course we're dealing with class-based functions, class-based methods. So in this case we use this. This refers to the current class, and so if you can see here, yeah. Yeah, so it's the one that we're going to add. I don't mind about this enqueuing script, the add in JavaScript for now. I'm going to remove it for now. So enqueuing, WP enqueue script, just, so we don't need that for now. So if we load, oh, how come we cannot see a thing? It's because we are not yet activated the dashboard widget. So you have to activate it with a hook, which is WP dashboard. So this is a WP dashboard setup hook. It's one that you use. So when you try to do this, you're going to see, yes, it's there. Reactjs hello dashboard widget. So we've gotten a hook here. I removed it. However, yeah. So however, we need to show something like a chart graph here using React. That we need to show it. So thank you. Yeah, so we need to show that beginning. So I've done a couple of things. Yeah, so now you can see that actually we have this dashboard widget. However, this is not what we wanted to get. We wanted to get Reactjs hello dashboard widget. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and use now a React app to develop the dashboard widget that we need. So we're going to go step by step. So you can always read during your free time. As you can see, add action, WP dashboard setup, that's the hook, the one that adds here. So it's very, very critical to use the online documentation. It simplifies your life. You avoid most of the bugs that most people face. Cramming most of the code in the head, I don't like that. I prefer this. It's easier, it's faster. So yeah. So let's go ahead. So we're going to go on the part of installing the React app. So here we're finished working on this. So we shall come back later. To work on the back end. The backend, I mean, that's the PHP WordPress, the plugin development. That's what I mean. But we shall come back later. So I'm not going to. Okay. So we're going to follow this tutorial to work on the we're going to, so I'll leave the documentation and everything here. So how do you integrate a Reactjs in a WordPress plugin? So actually with React, you can even build actually an HR system using just React only, and then put there. Then necessarily even. Yeah. So for now, we're not going to use Composer. I don't need it because I'm not going to add any external library for now. Maybe in future, in case you want to do testing using punit, we shall do that exactly. Yeah. So now we're going to use WordPress scripts. So WordPress scripts, it depends. WordPress scripts is just a collection of scripts that enable you to simplify your front-end development. So you would use, of course, a normal maybe Webpack and all that thing to set up your React app, but it will be difficult. Actually, that's what I tried first, and I took some good time to make it work. So with WordPress script, it makes your life so easy, so easy. So you can even get here. Yeah. So it simplifies all the front-end development so easily, especially React and Word. Actually, when you use it, you feel like it's just. So it's not even enable you to render the React app and all that thing. So this one is kinda more strict. You don't need to get the latest one. As you can see, most of the options, there's the build option, there's checking the engine, there's checking the license, linting in case you want some kind of formatting for your project. That's also okay. Yeah. So we're going to install this. So of course, originally I tried it, but it depends on what node version you're using. What kind of node version are you using for your thing? So if you try and see, yeah, 16. I had some issues installing that plugin there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get and install mine. So of course here we use npm install for the people coming from the React world and not just world, Angular world. You know, that's how we install scripts. That's how we install packages. So for now, I'm going to get something that I'm already comfort, something that works on that latest version cannot work on my machine, on my WordPress version. So I wouldn't want to go through that hassle again because I've already tested it out. So, however, this is 23.3. Yeah, it's going to work successfully. So you can always check the version. If the first version is refused to install, please go ahead and check what version really works for your machine, what version works for your Node.js thing. So this is one of the things that actually gives most developers headache when they are installing packages. So if your package is not, then please, it means that you have to downgrade or upgrade accordingly. So that's why it's not good to just keep on updating using the latest engine and all that things. So I'm going to use the one of 23. It's one that's easier. So while it's installing, we shall be doing other work meanwhile. So yes, this is the thing. Sorry, it's here. Yeah. So I'm just installing. Don't forget to specify the version. However, if you know that you're using the latest node, not just engine, because it's just a JavaScript runtime environment, then just install it directly without necessary. But mine is kind of old and I have a couple projects that are working with this machine, so I don't want to distract them. Of course, you can use the NVM tool. This one here also can help you. Yeah, it can help you to install. So when you say NVM list, you can see that actually I have a couple of Node.js versions on my machine. So I have a couple of them. However, that's not the topic. So while it's installing, you can be doing other work. So don't forget about this. So yeah, so it's going to be installing. While it's installing, so this is what I'm going to use to simplify our front-end development. So let's go ahead, continue the same tutorial for now. Yeah. So this is the description. So I forgot something. Yes, npm init. I forgot something, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I forgot some step. Let me first. So see your dashboard. Yes. Version 1, description, dashboard widget. WordPress dashboard widget using Reactjs. So this entry point, yes. Test, no tests. The keywords are React. Author, this is Gregor Sots. You can put there your name. You don't necessarily need to. Yes. Good. So we're good to go. This is the package.json file, the one that I needed. So it's here. Now you can see it's here actually. This is what I wanted. So it's there. See your dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and now install so that it can be saved. Originally I was running this without actually saving it first. So let me get and now install it directly for now. So while it's installing, sorry, it's not supposed to be here. Yeah, so while it's installing, let us be doing other tasks so that you can make this video shorter. So it's going to install and then put that. So for now, please, you can copy the whole JSON, the whole package.json file, all of it. So I'm mostly interested in this build scripts. So in case you want to build the front end, you'll use that build, wp script build, all start. So start will be for development purposes when you say npm start, for development purposes, so that every time when you make a change, I don't need to rebuild all the time. No, it needs to build automatically. So I'm going to add this one and put it here. So once that's finished installing, I'll be able to let me keep on monitoring this file that's downloading. So there's the composer thing. I don't need it for now. And then now there's webpack.config.js file. So those people who are not using this WordPress script, they are suffering with this. So me, I prefer this I prefer simpler life. So this is webpack.config.js file. So it's going to enable us to have this thing here. So of course I'm going to delete a couple of things. So as time goes on. Yeah, so this is get this and put it there. So default so as you can see it's exposing the externals, React and React DOM. So that means that you can now utilize this one in our React file. Otherwise, if you try to utilize them in your React file without having this, without first configuring this, you are going to have issues. So you need to know that when it comes also to the plugin development, some things change a little bit. Yeah, so we needed this. Let me check and see. Almost slow. Internet is kind of slow. So we shall change this later. Let us not mind about it so much. Yes, hello. Yeah, so if you can now see now, my React app has loaded. So we're using this WordPress scripts doing a following this tutorial. So npm start, as you can see, as I develop, my dashboard is also loading, which is great. So now you can see finally my dashboard is loading. That's great. Of course, also the CSS is not loading. So I'm also going ahead and change this. But if you can check here the CSS, you can check that it's not loading here. So you can see that it's actually pointing to my include library, which I don't want. Include is not, this CSS is under this. It's under the build directory. So I'm just going to use so use WP enqueue style. So this will be C dashboard dot plugin plugin URL. So you have to use this constant that I gave you here. The constant, this one's here. Constant that I here. Yeah. So this is the thing. When you check here, you can see that actually also the style is loading. So that's great. So yeah, jobless app. Of course, now we need to change a lot. So this one I can say even add XXX and you see what happens. Compile successfully. So the setup that I've done is not loading very well. However, you could rebuild it again. Start the package so it gets compiled. So yeah, so you can see it takes some time. Now it's loading. So it implies now you can go ahead and write your React app. It can even be an HR system, ERP system, maybe a graph. Yeah, in case jQuery doesn't have nice graphs, you can use that one there. So enough of the break. So let's get started. Let's go direct to business now. So I think we're done setting up that. So now the next step is going to be working on The next step is going to be working on the dashboard thing. So I'm going to edit a couple of things like the job place app. I don't need those details there. So let's go. So we're going to go and start working on now on the React app. That's what I'm going to do. So now I'm just going to say student graph. I just say students upper class students performance. So we're going ahead and so let's go ahead and now add the graph very fast. So we're not dealing with only, we're only dealing with the code. So now I'm going to work on the chat app, the one that we need to have. So I'm going to use Reactjs app instead. So that's what I'm going to use. So for loading Reactjs app, yeah, so this is a nice tutorial for creating charts in Reactjs. So I'm not going to go through that. So there's this API, however, so go ahead and install the Reactjs app on our thing. So while it's installing, I'll be working on the app. So I'm going to test maybe cryptocurrency prices from an API. For now, we can start with that. Before actually going to pull data from our database in the React thing. So you see right now I'm just actually using React thing. So I think I'm not going to go through this. I expect to know React. So let's go direct to the chat app that we actually need to work on. So of course we're going to use something here which is use effect. So I'm not going to explain this. We're just loading an API into a component, into a React component. So this is the Reactjs app. So I'm going to copy the whole of this and put it there to make it short. I'm not going to type to avoid mistakes. Yes. Yep. So for now, so this helps you to avoid the tricky jQuery. Yeah, this is a functional component. So you can use React hooks. Then if you want to load your apps when the component just loads, use the use effect. Yeah, so this acts like the component did mount, so you avoid using data-less lifecycle methods. Fetch data. So I'm not going to explain any of this. We're just going to utilize it, that's all. So this is Bitcoin API. So if first test something works, then you go ahead and utilize it. If it doesn't work, then it means that's why I usually develop all my components actually. This dashboard component, I don't think now we need it anymore. I can get rid of it. Let me check whether the thing has completed downloading. Has it completed downloading? Let me check and see. Yes, it has completed. Great to hear that. Yeah. So for now it's empty. Yeah, for now we're just dealing with an empty thing. Yeah, but we shall change it later. So now I try to so you can see it has been loaded. However, it still has some issues there. So I'm going to reduce it to I'm going to use graph data for now. So let's see. Let me reduce. So this should be around 70%. So let's check and see if the data is actually loading. Yeah, so you can actually see that the Bitcoin data is there. So this is very, very great. Very, very great actually, very, very great. But that's not why I'm not. Let me check and see. In case something is not rebuilding fast, you can always force it. We're almost completing, don't worry about it. So let me see. Yeah, it's loading. So let us not worry about, good enough that this shows that the chat is going to work. So let's work with that, and so I'm going to make some modification on the static data, and then we get started with that. So let me get some example data that I already have, so that I don't waste a lot of time typing the data. I don't want to take a lot of time typing. So let me just get some sample data that I can use. Yeah. So these are the team members. As you can see, this is the data that we're going to use for now. So for now, I'll have it here. Yeah, you can change it later. So this is going to be my data. And then when I go in this chat.js, I change, I also make it data to make now more sense. However, later we're going to change that. Yeah. So now actually you can see that data is almost loading. So I'm going to make some modification this. So you can go to the official. You can always go to the official documentation and check and see. You can always go to the official documentation for this Reactjs. So you can always check the official documentation. So here's the official thing. So that's the thing. So use the official, you survive. Then another bar that is UV. So I'm just going to use some sample data, not necessarily using my own. So now you see we're enjoying the fruits of React. Oh, beautiful! This is nice. Then this component, we don't need it. It's the causing. You see, we don't need it. This dashboard component, I don't need it. So what I can do, I can just go and comment it out. However, you can do other things on it if you want. But for me, I'm going to comment it out for now. Because it's just taking up my space for now. So let's see. Yes. So upper class student, what performance? You can now check and see. So we have used your React, so we're done. So we're going to go on part 2, whereby we need to use the REST API from the backend. That's what I'm going to do for now. That will be part 2. So it's going to involve a little bit of accessing the REST API using React. Use React, but at the same time also do. So get rid of all static data. Thank you very much. Let me go to part 2.